So qualifying is done for the V8s. They get ready for their 78 lapper this afternoon. But right now it's time to turn back the clock for the Touring Car Masters, and a real treat for us in commentary for this one, a Hall of Famer. Alan Moffat, great to see you alongside Aaron Newman.
Matty, this is the final race of the weekend. John Bowe, Gavin Bullis on the front row in their Mustang Trans Ams, Alan. But I think when I think Trans Am Mustangs, I think of you, not them.
I kind of thought there was only one genuine Trans Am Mustang in Australia, but these fellows, John Bowe in particular, have really warmed these cars up, and they're running 351 engines. But don't discount the two Camaros that are behind John on pole, and Jimmy Richards, who for 2.5 years, along with son Stephen, have slaved over this new Javelin. They were a great Trans Am car in their days in the 60s, and I think we can expect big things from Jimmy. Slightly bigger engine in Jimmy's car.
Now, before this race started, there was a Formula 3 support race. Have a look at this. This was unbelievable. Steel Juliana launching off the back of Chris Flock. Brings back a memory of Mark Webber from Valencia a few years ago.
Yeah, well, it brings back a memory that these guys need to go back to driving school.
And have a look at this. This is John Bowe on pole. We will not forget Jason Richards and Norval JB. He is on the roof for this final race of the weekend. JB has a win. Gavin Bullis has a win as well. This is the decider. Away we go in race 3 on the streets of Adelaide. Bill Pye in the black Camaro has made a stunning start down the inside, but it's Bowe, the reigning champ, who'll lead them through the chicane. Second is Bullis, then Andrew Medicki, then Bill Pye, Jimmy Richards. Look at them all fire over these curves.
They're really running, and it's a short run to turn 1, but they're doing an extremely quick hop over those curves, and that's the dicey part about turn 1.
This is inboard with Jimmy Richards, the Shannons. I went to say Falcon, we've been so used to saying that, but this is the Javelin. It's taken 2.5 years to get this car on the road. It's brand new, making its race debut this weekend. And of course, when it came to Javelins, Mark Donoghue and Penske and Trans Am in the early 70s in the States, that's the instant memory that comes to mind.
Yes, well, Donoghue set the standard with his Camaros in the Trans Am races, and the might of the Ford Motor Company with 2 Shelby cars and 2 but more Mustangs couldn't get on top of the lone Sunoco Camaro.
Have a look at this. Andrew Medicki tried inside, he tried outside, and he ended up running himself off the road. Richards threw on Pye for 4th spot in this brand new car. Now, he started the hunt overseas. He was online looking through the States and ended up finding that one of his crew members had an uncle in North Melbourne who had 4 or 5 of the things.
Just shows that you shouldn't always trip over your own nose when you're looking for something, doesn't it? But here we go, flying into the turn 14. Jimmy's thinking about he's got it done under brakes. Tight corner here. It looks open, but it's a tight corner coming under brakes there. Down the main straight, they really fly, and turn 1 looms up at the speed of light.
And remember too, in Touring Car Masters, there is multi-class fights. This year they've changed the structure a little. There's Class A for the big cars that are over 5.1 litres, and Class B, the Pro Sportsman category, for the Porsches and the smaller cars. Now, that red XB Coupe, that's Eddie Abel-Nisa. He started last. He's had engine dramas all weekend. He's managed to get to 15th in the space of just 1 lap. And TCM extended the window a couple of years ago to let more modern and more Australian mid-70s cars into this race, into this category, I should say, because XB Falcons never really raced against Camaros and Falcon Sprints, did they?
No, not really, but XB Falcon at Bathurst in a red one with City Ford on the side of the door, I remember clearly.
75 yes. From memory?
Oh, 75. Sorry, gee whiz, I'm bad at arithmetic. I haven't had my second coffee yet.
Have a look at this. We'll get you one. That's okay.
Mark Scaife promised me coffee. So where, of course, a promise. Where the hell is it?
Oh, well,
okay.
We'll work on that. We've got another couple of laps left. How about John Bowe? Clearing away in the Mustang. He calls it Sally, which is pretty obvious, Mustang Sally. Gavin Bullis in second, had massive engine problems last year, but he's back and he's been competitive. Andrew Medicki.
Under brake. Careful.
Ooh, yep. Close.
Yes. Very careful. But Andrew's doing a good job. He's got support from JT Radial tires and doing a fine job. Raced in America under his father's tutelage, and he's coming on strong. And certainly, this is the place to learn how to become a real race driver in a hurry, because it's such a demanding track.
Have a look at Andrew up the inside here. He is driving like his young fella George. He's out of control and nearly hit the back of that Mustang. We're on board with Jim Richards. New fastest lap last time around, a 1:30.4. And this part of the track, it's all left, right.
Very demanding, and it looks simple when we're watching here, courtesy of Channel 7, but believe me, those walls loom up at a hell of a pace, and if you're just a little bit off or you get your rear brakes locking up like we saw just in the last lap, it can be rather nervous for the driver when the walls loom up as quickly as they do.
Turn 8.
This is fast, and that wall's waiting for you. A few mirrors got knocked off yesterday in the 250. And these blokes are trying hard as well.
A few chassis rails as well.
This is a tight corner. You have to be careful, because if you hit your left rear tire on that curb, bounces the car around, unsettles you for this tight, nippy place. And I was standing at the back of the pits here yesterday, and I was amazed at how fast they are right here.
Great to see Jim Richards in this new Javelin, but he runs position 4. He's the fastest man on the track. The man to chase is the reigning champ, John Bauer. Back on the streets of Adelaide, we are riding on board with John Nelson in the Porsche 911. It's race 3 in the Touring Car Masters, protected by Wilson Security. And this German thoroughbred is having a hell of a time holding out Les Walmsley in the Falcon, but Alan Moffat, that's Doug Westwood, and that is a barbecue.
Yeah, that's an XY with a little bit too much steam going, and he better get off quickly, because those flames flashing back towards the fuel tank, I don't care how tight they are, but that can be nervy. Get out of the car as quickly as you can, mate.
Exit stage right for Doug Westwood. This car was repaired from a touch yesterday, but I've got a feeling it's going to need a bit more work before the next round of Touring Car Masters. He's pulled off down at the turn 1 chicane.
It's one area of preparation, and that sometimes is overlooked. The gas tank, it's there, it never leaks, so why should we worry about checking it? But fittings in the whole fuel line sometimes get too close to the exhaust pipes, and you're in trouble with a leaking fuel tank. It's one of the things that on the current V8 supercars is really well managed.
Safety car is out as a result of this. We were on board with the Porsche just a car or two down the road when this went bang and barbecued the underside of the Falcon. Started from 14th on the grid, but ends up with a barbecue underneath.
He's pulled it up wisely, quickly, and got out safely. That's the main thing.
And just pulled straight off the racing line. Knew there was a drama. Did not want to leave presence on the road for the rest of them. Under safety car, 5 laps down in race 3, Touring Car Masters. Ready to get back to racing on the streets of Adelaide. It will be a 1-lap dash to the checkered flag. John Bauer will lead us back to the control line on board the Mustang. Gavin Bullis, the former champ, is chasing, and Alan Moffat, 1 lap, 3.2 kilometres. If you don't get it done now, you never will.
No, John's got it. He's got the lead. He'll bounce through turn 1 in a hurry. Look at them go through here. Wham, wham. And there's a wall waiting for them when they do that whamming. Look at this guy in the Monaro. Holy macro, gee whiz.
That's Mark King.
Okay, here we go.
And Bullis is closing in. He and Bauer have shared the race win so far this weekend.
Well, he's pushing him fair dinkum. He's right there. And if John misses a gear change, which he's never done in his life, so why should he start now?
And the fastest man on the track in this race has been Jim Richards in that Javelin. There he is, car number 2. 4th spot, jump on board the big American muscle car. This thing, it's 600 horsepower plus.
It sounded like it too. He's got a 360 cubic inch, so just slightly. Jim's got the biggest engine, which is 10 cc's bigger than the Mustang, but he's ready there to pounce in case there's a mix-up at the front.
And just looking back, Eddie Abelnisa in that Ford XB that we saw earlier on, he's up to 7th. He started last, 24th. That's a hell of a drive.
Yeah.
But this is where it's at, the top 4. I reckon Gavin Bullis is not done with yet.
He's not giving up. And I'm sure everybody's capable of seeing how close their doors are getting to those walls. They're not playing around.
John Bauer, final turn. He's the reigning champ. Look at the block. Maniki up the inside.
Tried it once.
Oh, he gets into the side and he turns Bullis around.
That's no good.
Richards will get to 2nd. Bullis facing the wrong way. Bauer wonders where they all went. He picks up 2 race wins for the weekend and the first round on the streets of Adelaide. And Maniki still got to 2nd.
Well, that's an amazing sprint, but I think George's dad might be on the phone after this race to say, mate.
Let's have a look. Bullis went to block, then didn't really stop. Mediki's up on the curb. No way. No way.
What killed him was he was on the curb, and the brakes can't work on those slippery curbs. That was his problem.
So Bow wins. Mediki second from Jimmy Richards. Eddie Abel-Nisa got to 5th. Nigel Benson and Tony Hunter rounded out the 10. The Touring Car Masters are done. The Utes are to come, and so is the V8 Supercars.